Thanks for joining us today on Skyway Bound presents Fly Tampa Fly. This podcast exists to inspire and grow the aviation small business community in the Greater Tampa Bay area. Our mission is to grow a community of like-minded people who are looking to grow profitable aviation-centric ventures while staying on task with a greater purpose. We're always looking to highlight small business owners, with an aviation-centric entrepreneurial mindset. So if you know of anyone that fits the bill and is looking to practice their interviewing skills, please connect us. We would love to share their story with our fast-growing community. So thanks for joining us today, and we are going to get right into the next slides. I got a few extra, but we're trying to keep this thing down to 20 minutes. Let's see how we do today. All right, some FAA news. The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, is undertaking a vendor challenge as a new approach to streamline its next air traffic control upgrade project to modernize the system and meet congressional mandates from 2024. The challenge responses are due by October 10th for the development of a new flow management data and service system that's going to replace the existing traffic flow management system used by controllers to plan and implement traffic flow initiatives to minimize delays and congestion. We share this slide because this is one of many examples of government contractor possibilities. So if you're a government contractor, things like this exist, and there are websites you can go to. sam.gov is one of them, and there's a few others. If you're looking to get into that government contractor world, just know that there are million plus dollar possibilities like this that get published every year. All right, moving on. Some more FAA news. So the FAA, we talked about the air traffic controller shortage. FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, has achieved a previously announced goal to hire 2,000 air traffic controllers in the 2025 fiscal year. In 2026, they're looking to increase that. They're looking to hire 2,200 new air traffic controllers in fiscal year 2026. Just so you guys know, fiscal year 2026 starts today on October 1st. So they're looking to hire 2,200 new air traffic controllers during this fiscal year, which starts today, of which apparently the government shut down as of this recording. Hopefully it opens back real soon, or they're hiring nobody. We always talk about how the aviation industry is huge. You don't have to be a pilot to find your place in the industry, and this is just another great example. More FAA news. There's a lot of FAA news recently. This one is a little bit longer on my slide. So you have different parts that govern how you operate. I do a lot of what's called Part 91 operations. The airlines are Part, I think they're 121. And then you got charter operations are 135. And then there's just other numbers like that. Drones are Part 107. Well, now they have a Part 108, which covers in between drones and manned aircraft. The FAA set an October 6th deadline for comments on the proposed creation of Part 108 that the agency released in August of this year, of 2025. Part 108 was created to govern much larger unmanned aircraft up to 1,320 pounds, flown beyond the operator's visual line of sight. The FAA opted to shift the burden of collision avoidance in many circumstances squarely onto aircraft with human pilots aboard, granting drones the right of way over aircraft not equipped with ADS-B out. And automated data surveillance broadcast. I think that's what ADS-B stands for. But anyway, it's something you have to have on your aircraft nowadays, unless you meet some sort of grandfather clause. Or yet to be approved electronic conspicuity alternative. So there's other alternatives like probably the transponder mode C. This doesn't affect most man-piloted general aviation aircraft. However, there are many manned aircraft operating routinely below 400 feet and within 50 feet of structures. For example, helicopters, especially when they're conducting power line operations, medical transportation, and firefighting. They would fall under those categories, as well as aerial applicators. The area applicators, I just totally, what do you call those? Call those guys? Area applicators. I forgot. Anyway, area applicators. The crop dusters. Crop dusters is what you call them. And they would fall under this too because they're low and they're very close to obstacles. All of them must navigate around power lines, buildings, and other hazards without adding to that mix. Drones that might be flying, especially blind, particularly if terrain or structures block line of sight between the drone and the aircraft transmitting the ADS-B out. If you're an AOPA member, or if you're anybody else in the world of aviation, you're encouraged to submit your own comments on the proposed rule. You only have till October 6th. And of course, if you are an AOP member, they would like you to share what you submitted. And I will put a link in the description to where anybody can go and submit a comment via the FAA.gov website. So I am an AOPA member, but you don't have to be an AOPA member to submit directly to the FAA. While we're on the theme of shortages, a recently published report by the Aviation Technician Education Council reaffirms an increasing aviation mechanic shortage. This despite an increase in new mechanic certificates being issued in 2024. According to the report, the FAA issued 9,013 new mechanic certificates in 2024, which is the second highest total since they began keeping records in 1999. With the nation's 208 FAA certificated aviation maintenance technician schools producing about 2/3 of the new mechanics. AMTS, or Aviation Maintenance Technician Schools, enrollment rose 9.5% last year, and overall certification rates are climbing as more schools embed progressive FAA testing into their training cycles. Of course, demand is outstripping the supply that's being produced, continues to outpace the supply of labor. The study forecasts a shortfall of certificated maintenance mechanics equal to roughly 10% of commercial aviation needs in 2025, or about 5,000, just shy of 5,400 mechanics. And that's expected to widen in the near term, but ease into an estimated gap of 4,200 by 2035. So the gap, so it's going to lower over time as they continue to meet the demand. The broader maintenance workforce deficit is projected to continue widening at 17,800 personnel this year and more than 22,000 in 2027. So it's going to increase over the next couple of years. But there are a variety of reasons for that, to include a high percentage of mechanics projected to reach retirement age within the next 10 years. There are less veterans transitioning into civilian maintenance roles, and around 30+% of the AMP training seats continue to sit empty. So they've increased the number of seats available, and while their enrollment's increased with the increase of seats, they're still not filling all of the seats. They're still increasing their supply, but the demand is growing faster than the supply is being provided. So if you're looking to get into the world of aviation, maintenance is definitely a great way to go. And you're gonna have to maintain drones as well as manned aircraft, and AI probably will not be able to replace you in those jobs. So just something to consider. Unmanned aerial vehicles news. Japanese automotive group Kawasaki, known for their motorcycles and their engines in general, they recently announced their partnership to develop a piston engine for a Bulgarian drone startup, Dronamics. It looks like Bronamics on my notes. Dronamics Black Swan uncrewed air vehicle. The Black Swan is intended mainly for civilian cargo operations with a payload of up to 700 plus pounds with a range of just shy of 1,400 nautical miles. According to Dronamatics, the UAV will be able to operate at half the cost compared to the existing crewed aircraft, the cost that crewed aircraft operate at. Additionally, it will also be able to operate at an estimated 60% lower emissions because it's going to be electric. The UAV will be useful for a variety of operations to include disaster relief, emergency resupply, and firefighting. So once again, the world of unmanned aerial vehicles is growing, and there are a lot of opportunities if you're looking to get into the world of aviation within the unmanned aerial vehicles world. There's just a lot of opportunities. So once again, you don't have to be a pilot per se, although pilots have more fun. All right, eVTOLs, electric vertical takeoff and landing systems. Joby Aviation recently acquired Blade Air Mobility's charter brokerage. So Blade Air Mobility flies helicopter routes in the New York City, New Jersey area. And Joby recently announced that customers will be able to book flights on Blade arranged helicopter seaplanes flights through the Uber mobile app as early as 2026. So it's 2026 is only a couple months, 3 months around the corner. So it's very soon. You can go, if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, you can go on Uber and order a Blade helicopter. By acquiring Blade, Joby gained access to the helicopter operators network of private terminals and its established customer base in the New York, New Jersey, and Southern Europe area. This acquisition will allow Joby to begin the process of educating customers and other stakeholders about the advantages of flying in its electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, which produce zero emissions in flight and generate significantly less noise. So it's coming. Electric vertical takeoff and landing is here, and exactly what this show is about is the opportunities for you to look into the opportunities that are available and increasing within this world. All right, looks like we're getting short on time, but I think I'm on track here. Electrical vertical takeoff and landing, my flying card slide. Last month, electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft maker Jetson, they delivered their first aircraft to customer number one, and I didn't put the person's name in here. It's a famous tech entrepreneur who's made a lot of money and can afford things like this. But the delivery of the Jetson One was originally scheduled for 2023. Jetson One is available for purchase, but expect orders to be delayed if you do have that kind of funding. The company has already sold out of 2025 and 2026 vehicles, meaning the earliest shipping year would be 2027. The vehicle cost is roughly around $128,000, but what's beautiful about this aircraft is it doesn't require a pilot's license to fly. The downside is you can't fly everywhere, so you got to kind of stay out of airspace and things like that. The first customer spent about an hour training, then flew his Jetson One around for a few minutes. Upon landing, he was awarded his Jetson wings. So you get these cool Jetson wings if you buy their aircraft and fly it. Jetson's mission is to change the way we travel. They aim to make the skies available for everyone with their personal electric aerial vehicles, and I am so on board with that mission. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this, is for me to get into that world and just figure out where I'm going to fit in that world. And I definitely want to own something. All right, some electric vertical takeoff and landing stocks. Let's see if I have any new notes. I don't think I really have any new notes this year. I put an update there. That looks old. I can't remember if we talked about it, but I'll throw it out there anyway. Joby and Skyports Infrastructure recently signed an agreement in the United Arab Emirates to launch air mobility taxi services in 2027. Service is expected to start with an inter-Emirate route linking a UAE resort and Dubai. The trip from Dubai International Airport to the resort takes more than an hour if you're driving by car. And with Joby's all-electric air taxi, that should cut that trip down to around just under 15 minutes. So the beauty of vertical takeoff and landing vehicles as they continue to proliferate around the world. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. And yeah, I think that's old news. Sometimes I miss stuff and whatever, it's okay. a lot of what I'm trying to do with this podcast, this is more about creating the process that I can eventually hand off to somebody as I continue to build into whatever I'm going to build into in the future, and just to have some fun and see where it goes. You never know where it's going to go. All right, some Florida Business Development School news. Tampa International Airport plans to spend more than $500 million to upgrade their systems that will improve travelers' check-in experience. Recently, the Hillsborough County Aviation Authority Board voted unanimously to approve next year's budget, which will support 34 new projects at Tampa International Airport. One of the projects is a $300 million upgrade to build a new checked baggage system for all airside areas. The current system is outdated and has experienced delays over the past several years due to its age. Luggage travels from the ticketing counter down to the first floor baggage level and then out to each respective airside. Replacing it with a modern system will make it more reliable and allow bags to travel more quickly from the ticket counter to departing planes and from arriving planes to the luggage carousel. Construction is slated to begin during the next fiscal year, which starts today. The new budget also includes about just under $300 million for the ticketing level expansion, which will update the second floor of the main terminal, aka the ticketing level. The total investment in upgrading the check-in experience is just under $600 million. So they're putting in a lot of money. The point to this slide is there's government contracts available, and it might not be these particular projects, but you can go. I think you can go on Tampa International Airport. I think they have a place where you can go in on their website and look for a link that will take you to where you can look at these kind of opportunities. So if you're looking to get into the world of government contracting, don't remember you have city level, local level, state level, and federal level. So you got levels of government contracting that you can pursue, and something to consider and keep in mind. All right, we're coming down to the end of our show. As always, aviation industry events, we do post them on the website there. The link's on the slide there. And if you want to know what's going on, we're trying to get more Tampa area events and Florida area events on there, even if they're small events. So if you know of any small events like fly-ins and breakfasts and those kind of things, anything aviation related, aviation meetups, especially industry level kind of events, please send them our way. We want to share them so people can start flying around and meeting up, and we can work together to bring the Florida aviation community even that much closer. You can never have too many outlets to get the word out, right? And, well, in my opinion. And that's all that counts. All right, my friend Jamail, if you're looking for scholarships, flying is expensive. So he's created a dedicated website to kind of pull this kind of information together, and go to his website and look for scholarship opportunities. Remember, you don't have to be just a high schooler or a college student to apply for there's quite a few scholarships. There's not as many as for high school and college, but there are scholarships available for those of you who are a little more mature. So look at Jamail's website and see what you can find, and all they can do is say no, so just submit the darn scholarship. And finally, more scholarship opportunities. Here's the list that I provide. We'll put it also in the description below. And like I said, you're not too old for some of the scholarships. All right. That brings us to the end. Looking good on time. I need to wind it down here. I'm going to be a little over by a minute or two, and that's okay. I'm getting better every time I do this, every month. So let's thank our sponsors. Jetline Systems, we also want to mention our sponsors. They provide flight simulation technologies. They're purpose-built. Computer systems run flight simulation systems in any environment, from desktop PC to servers running large-scale simulators. Each system is hand-built, stability tested, benchmarked, and optimized to maximize performance and stability with the flight simulation software of your choice. They are also the North American distributor of Virtual Flight Controls, so if you already have a simulator but you want cooler, high-quality controls, Jetline Systems can help you. So feel free to give them a call, and they'll hook you up. They'll answer your questions. Also, thank you to my friends at Mind My PC. They are a cybersecurity and outsourcing solution. They are my cybersecurity and IT outsourcing solution. All my computers are being monitored by them. They're a solution for small to medium-sized businesses. Their 24-hour, 7 days a week availability gives you, the business owner, a peace of mind so you can focus on what you do best, which is your business. If you don't want to be an IT cybersecurity person and you want to build your business, whatever it might be, give my friends at MyPC a call. They're already taking care of me. They're going to take care of you as well. And then finally, if you know of anyone looking to get into the world of aviation, whether it be a pilot or otherwise, please connect us. We would love to see how we can help them. And that is going to bring us to the end. All right. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and invite you to follow, like us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with our latest video content. And of course, don't forget to tap the bell to receive alerts when we release that new content. And then finally, we're 1 minute over, about to be 2. But I've learned to be kinder to myself in this world of entrepreneurship. And if you're looking to build something, just go out there and get it started. It doesn't have to be perfect. I've got a friend that created a book. It says start ugly. Just start ugly. Start small. If you can't afford to give up your day job, don't give up your day job. But you could still try to build after work. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to take time, but you can do it. Now remember, the road is long and hard. If you want it, go get it. You can do it. Do not quit. Do not quit. Do not quit. The sky is just the beginning. Get out there and make something happen. I believe in you.